Have I mentioned lately that I like puzzle games? Because I like puzzle games. Give me a logic problem to chew on, and I am a happy camper. Puzznic on the PC Engine delivers puzzles. A lot of puzzles. I mean, a lot of puzzles. Originally, Puzznic was an arcade game. I've always found logic puzzles to be a bit of an odd choice for arcades. But don't worry, Taito added something extra for this one, because Puzznic's arcade version is an adult game. Every time you clear a stage there, it reveals a little bit more of a naked woman. Well, the PC Engine version of Puzznic, which was the first console port of the game, took out those pictures and replaced them with pictures of Taito characters, which was actually the original intention for Puzznic until someone got the bright idea of making it an adult game. Depending on what stage you clear, you might find pictures of Reika from Time Gal, or Sayo from Kiki Kai Kai. The way that stages work in Puzznic is your goal is to remove all of the colored tiles. You can shift these tiles around by highlighting them, pressing and holding button 2, and then using the D-pad. Tiles can be moved left and right, but you can't move them vertically yourself. However, there is gravity, so tiles that aren't supported will fall down, and if you need to go up, on some stages there are moving bricks that you can ride, but not on many of them. Usually, once a tile falls, that's it. You'll have to deal with it where it lies. When two or more of the same type of tile get next to each other, then they vanish. If you can do that to more than 2 tiles at a time, or if you can cause a chain reaction, then you'll get some bonus points. The points, however, do absolutely nothing. You don't get extra retries, or continues, or anything like that. This is truly a case where the points are all made up and the scores don't matter. In fact, the scoring system is so out of whack that the extra points for removing multiple tiles are less than the points you get for each second on the timer when you clear the stage. That timer is the sole reason why you can't sit there thinking about the puzzle until it's done. If the timer runs out, then it's game over. But you have infinite continues and you start exactly where you were, so who cares? If you do something where you get stuck and want to reset the level, you can hit start and choose to retry, but this doesn't reset the timer. So if it's a big, complicated stage and you screwed up 2/3 of the way through it, you probably don't have enough time to complete it. You also have a limited number of retries. That second retry is going to have even less time than the first. So it's another carryover from the arcade that doesn't matter here. Generally speaking, puzzles in Puzznic come in 2 flavors. There are stages where you might have to figure out how to get a tile to an odd place. Whether that's getting rid of the tiles that are blocking it off, or figuring out a way to build a path to where you need to go. Of course, those are complicated by the fact that you need to remove all of the tiles, so the weird tile that's hard to get rid of might make everything else a lot harder to deal with too. The other significant style of challenge in Puzznic is dealing with odd numbers of tiles. If there are 3 of the same tile, and you remove 2 of them by moving them next to each other, then you only have 1 tile left after that, and that's impossible to remove. You have a tile counter on the lower left-hand side of the screen, and it's very useful for planning around this. Getting rid of an odd number of tiles mainly comes down to dropping the matching tile in between the 2 others, or having the 2 in a stair-step pattern and dropping the matching one on top of it. The moving bricks are a notable part of the puzzle design because they have some odd behaviors. They can carry tiles around, of course, but they can also be blocked by tiles. You can keep stacking tiles as high as you want on them. And the timing to get a tile off of them can be tricky, since you'll need to have grabbed it before it gets into position, but you can only move in 1 tile increments. Puzznic has a bit of a different method for puzzle selection. When you start the game, you have 8 rows of options. Each of the boxes represents 4 puzzles. Clear those 4 puzzles, and you advance to the next column, but you can move up and down 1 row. Generally speaking, the further down you get, the more difficult the puzzles are, and of course they get harder the further you go to the right. Besides the reward picture and getting to choose your path, after you clear 4 puzzles, you get a password. and that keeps track of any of those squares that you've completed. If you manage to move all the way from left to right, then you'll get Puzznic's ending, along with another password. Use that password and you can start over again, playing another set of puzzles. With 8 rows and 8 columns and each containing 4 puzzles, there's 256 puzzles here. However, if you manage to complete all of the boxes, then a final gauntlet of 10 puzzles becomes unlocked, and completing them will get you the true ending. Puzznic also includes an alternative mode on the Hue card. It's just called Arrange A. And here, tiles drop from the top of the screen to fill up the area, and your goal is to eliminate them in patterns that are shown in the lower left. As you succeed in completing those tasks, you'll get new sets of patterns, and these gradually become more and more complicated. I found this mode to be incredibly frustrating to play, because the constantly dropping tiles up top stop you from interacting with most of the other tiles. This isn't a mode where you get a game over because the tiles reach the top of the screen. It just keeps filling them in at random until there's a certain quantity out there. The best strategy I found was to dump the tiles into the bottom area. At least that way you could somewhat manipulate them. It's definitely why they made that space available, but it feels like a quickie solution for a problem that shouldn't exist in the first place. This arrange mode is half-baked. Puzznic is one of those cases where it seems like everybody's forgotten the game exists. And I found 2 people who commented it's part of a huge overview of all Taito PC Engine games who said that they were completely addicted to Puzznic back in the day. But for the most part, this just doesn't seem to have stuck in anybody's head. I think it's because Puzznic was ported to so many other platforms, including the Famicom and Game Boy. Of course, I'm pretty positive on this version of Puzznic. It's definitely better than the Famicom version. Has a lot more puzzles, too. The arrange mode is awful, but just don't select the arrange mode. I wouldn't put it in the top tier of puzzle games. The rule set's just a little bit too limited, and that makes a lot of the puzzles wind up feeling kinda samey. But in general, Puzznic's not bad. I could definitely sink my teeth into this one for a while.